for you all the young ladies out there, if a man say he ain't had the time to devote to you, he's lying. That's not true.
Attacking me on the podcast.
I just said.
I thought you attacking me.
I ain't attacking
I
you.
feel attacked.
Perspective is a podcast about everything. The twist though is all me. My name is Maria Peters, and as a young social worker and business owner, I dare to believe I have a lot of valuable things to contribute to society. I decided to start this podcast simply to use my story to influence other lives and generate conversation. Perspective is on air.
Good day. I'm going to say good evening, but I don't know what time of the day you'll actually be watching this podcast. So, good day or good night to all my viewers, everybody who here and decided to watch this video. I am so grateful for that. This is Perspective, the podcast. This is the third season. You already know that because you have been watching the episodes before, like the faithful viewers that you are. We're not going to get into the formalities and stuff. We're just going to get right into it. Today we have a guest, as you all can see. I'm sitting down by myself. This is... I feel like when I have guests that people know, I just feel like I don't really need to go into the, who this person is. Just to see your face, and it's like, oh look, she's so much positive. But his real name, well, positive is his stage name, and his name on his birth certificate is Joel.
Yes.
Maury or?
Yeah, Joel Maury. Yeah.
Maury, right. And we're going to have a conversation today. You want to say anything to the people?
Good afternoon to everybody on Perspective Podcast, right? Locked on it, Maria Peters. Thank you for having me here today. I hope that I could be of some help to bless somebody right now. Right?
Yeah. So, I asked one of my faithful viewers what they would like to hear or what topic they would like me to discuss. And they submitted the topic of millennial marriages. I was like, well, I'm not married. Everybody on my podcast already know that. I don't feel like I'm qualified or competent enough to speak on that topic by myself. So I invited someone who is established in the field, at least I would say that, based on his social media and so on, to have this conversation with me. So we're going to talk about millennial marriages and everything that might be involved. Not everything, because we are a time thing, but as much as we could cover with any time that we have. So thank you for being here.
No problem.
How long have you been married?
This year on August the 1st,
Okay.
I was officially married 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
6 years of marriage. Wow. I don't want to know your age, but I would like to know what age you get married at.
Right now, I am 33.
Okay.
And I got married on August the 1st in 2014.
So that would have been at 27. You have been 27.
Yeah.
So you felt at 27 like you was prepared enough to be somebody's husband?
I felt like if I was, on the road to progressiveness, so I trying to get there, I don't think that I might have been perfect at anything because we all need work in different areas of our lives, but I felt as if I was ready enough to get married.
Okay. So the main question I had in mind when I was preparing for this episode was what is people don't tell you about marriage? When you're married, you realize, whoa. What was that for you?
Marriage is hard work. Marriage is hard work. As pretty as my wife is, as amazing as she is, it is hard work just totally devoting your life, your space, your boundaries, sharing that with somebody else. It's a whole new experience. I could have woken up any time of the day and walk outside anytime because last night I picked it up the next day. But now you're living with somebody who might have a different set of rules and a different set of ways that they do their thing. And you just want to be able to live in peace and live in love and let your marriage be something that you enjoy.
Right.
So I found that just sharing of your personal space with somebody.
You didn't know it was so much before.
I didn't know it was so technical and it takes work.
It takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work, guys. I know that too because I live alone.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was sharing with somebody recently, I don't know, I desire eventually to get married. But I don't know how that would be going from living alone, as you say, to like living with somebody who want to move something from where you try to put it. It's like, what? I don't know. I feel like that would be so challenging. And to hear you say that now, it's like, I feel like I get that confirmation. That's
Yeah. So like if I have the cream and I want to put the cream somewhere else, my wife will be like, yeah, but the cream goes here.
oh, that's so me. That's me. It's supposed to be here.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't put it anywhere else.
It's not so if I have something here, I'm like, Annalise, did you move my headphones? I keep it right here.
Is that frustrating?
No, I mean, over the time you get accustomed to
Oh, okay,
people.
okay.
I mean, it's always you try to make everything light and
Right.
you know, just communicate a lot. I think communication is one of the most essential
Yeah,
tools
that's
that
for
will help you
sure.
through
Everybody
marriage.
just say that.
Any relationship you have, I guess,
Okay.
communication.
Communication. I know the whole toothpaste thing is a big thing in marriage.
Not strange enough now with my wife. She's
It's okay,
fine.
toothpaste.
She can excuse me on the top, she can on the
Okay.
bottom, and nobody really cares.
I heard that toothpaste thing some time ago, like who does roll and if it's supposed to squeeze from the center, like all of that.
Yeah, a lot of people
Toothpaste
like
come
that.
out, toothpaste come out. Okay. So, what would you say to, some a young person who not sure they want to be married? They want to be married, but they're not sure they're prepared. Like, do you think there's a point where you go, I am ready now? Or do you think that as you go, you kind of figure it out and only in the process you realize, well, you're developing the characteristics you need to be like involved in a healthy relationship?
I think that's for somebody to really maturity is a big part. For somebody to really get involved
But
in
the
marriage.
whole maturity thing kind of subjective, right?
Yeah, but okay, so in terms of maturity, I'm talking about firstly your maturity in your relationship with God. So it's
Right.
like marriage is a God sent thing. It's
Yeah.
something that God created as an institution that He created,
Yeah.
and He likened marriage to His relationship with the church.
Right.
So it shows how significant marriage is to Him.
Right.
So if it is that He designed it, then it means that He created every good gift. So
Right.
it was designed so that He could get pleasure from
Yeah.
it. So that means going into marriage is not something that will be unpleasurable.
Right.
So, and it will not be something that should be frustrating or
Right.
something that should take away
Pressure,
joy.
yeah.
You understand? So
Okay.
it's something that should be enjoyed,
Right.
enjoyable. And I have found that when it is before I propose to Annalise,
Yeah.
I kind of try to build myself up spiritually
Right.
so that I could actually hear
Yeah.
or have a close connection with
Yeah.
God so that I could be guided
Right.
by the Holy
Yeah,
Spirit.
because as the man's, according to the Bible, as the man's role to
Yeah.
be the leader, to be
Yeah.
the head.
So I want to be guided by God in my choices in a
Right.
mate, and I want to also be guided by God in my choice in terms of when. So it's who I
Right.
get married to, because that's going to be a big part. 'Cause,
Right.
God would have given purpose for us as individuals,
Yeah.
but He also has purpose for
Yeah.
two people in a marriage.
Yeah.
So I look to God for who, and I look to Him for when.
Right.
You understand? I may not have a house, I may
Right.
not have a car,
Right.
I may not have everything in place,
Right.
but if there is a tingle in my spirit
Yeah.
that says now is the time,
Yeah.
then now is the time.
Well, that's interesting because I feel like a lot of people think about the material things. I feel like before, like I think men, especially because just generally they do the proposing, they feel like they have to establish themselves with a house or with a car
Yeah.
or with all these things before.
And I don't get that. I mean, when I was married,
You didn't have a house
I
or a car?
had $30,000 saved. I never forget that. And the venue and the food alone was $30,000 to get married. So when I get married on my wedding night, I pulled my wife's square. I said, listen to me. I want you to know that I spent every last dollar I had to make sure that you had a fantastic wedding.
Right.
You understand? I have literally $0 and 0 cents right now. But I have a vision from
Right.
God. And if you could trust me
Right.
with this vision, I'm telling you that God is going to take care of us.
Right.
I mean, some people don't want to hear that,
Yeah.
right? But I know the
Well,
woman who I got married
yeah,
to, so
yeah.
I know she would understand and that kind of thing. So
I guess that's where trust come in because if you didn't listen to God's voice and choose that mate, then and if you made the wrong choice, now the person at that moment will be like, I never sang up for all of this.
Yeah.
I sang up for and you trust God and vision and
Yeah.
but that's nice that you choose.
So then when that happened now,
Correctly.
the word says that, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So there's a realm of favor that follows marriage. You understand? People don't really even see that.
We don't know that second half of the
they just stop at finds a good thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Full stop. But and obtains favor from the Lord.
Right.
So I remember within the first year of our marriage, we got phone calls about property and houses and stuff, and we were able to now move into a brand new house, you understand? At the first year of our marriage, from $0 and 0 cents, So God would have opened up an avenue, even though we never really lived there, but to know that we own it, it's just like, it's just God showing that, listen, why do you fret yourself and worry yourself about these little light matters?
And that's true, And I mean, that's what faith is, and trusting God as word. Because that's really, as a Christian, that's what it comes down to. Trusting what I have in God's word and trusting that He is faithful to deliver on His promises.
So
He is.
Aside from the relationship with God in terms of choosing your mates, I also think that, you choose your mates from the perspective also of not just your present self, but your future self. So it's important for every man or every male person to have a vision.
Right.
So they say the word says without vision people perish.
Yeah.
So if you have no vision, no direction, tell yourself that you're on the road to destruction. You're on the road to perishing, right? So you get this vision about where you see yourself in 10 years, in 20 years, and then you get the vision of where you see the woman that you choose in 10 years and in 20 years. And then you ask yourself this question. You said, could this woman satisfy the 30-year-old me?
Right.
Could she satisfy the 40-year-old me?
Yeah. And not just satisfy on a fleshly Is it a good
match? Is she going to be a help to me?
Suitable help,
Are we going to be able to grow together, grow in love? Are we going to be...
Raise children. If you want this woman to be mother of your children.
So it's important. I mean, you can't just think about now.
Right.
You have to think about the present, but also the future.
Yeah. So the two things you shared so far in terms of important things to note before getting into marriage, making sure you're mature or trying your best to be mature spiritually, because as a man, that's your job to basically, I just say that I can show the word that say that, right? So you listen to God's voice and you lead your wife and your family in that direction. Right. But there's a question you made that nobody's going to ask. Mm-hmm. Because you're speaking, I take in all your perspective as a guy to a guy, but
as a guy to a guy.
Well, to guys, as you speaking as a guy
to as a guy to
specifically. No. What I mean is, let me clear that up. I mean, you speaking as a guy, so the guys who listening would identify with what you're saying.
Okay.
But there are also females who may be interested in getting married and.
Well, like yourself.
Yeah.
Is you interested in getting married?
Yes.
How soon?
I would like within 3 years.
So give yourself a timeline.
Oh, gosh, that's a whole other conversation. I would like God's will for my life to line up marriage around the next 4 years. That's what I would like, ideally.
Okay.
Right? But things are really looking up right now, guys. But we're hoping, we're trusting God. But what's quality outside of the vision, the 30 years down the road, this person is a suitable help. Mm-hmm. And you choosing your wife. Like, basically, what I'm trying to get is, to the females, what could they kind of prepare? How could they prepare themselves for marriage if they desire to be married, basically? So with your wife,
so you're asking me how the woman should prepare?
Well, for your wife, I'm asking, with your wife, what made you identify her and say, outside of God's voice, I mean, what were the qualities and stuff, not just the basic?
I don't think my wife could be a template. Because
true, because that's true.
Because before marriage, she never cooked a day in her life.
Okay.
And when she came in marriage, she was one of the best cooks I ever seen.
Okay. Yeah, you can't say that.
Unusual.
Yeah.
She was an uncommon kind of girl.
Okay.
So, but on a general basis,
I
mean, if I had to choose little things, I mean, growing up in a household, it had women in my household.
Right.
I had cousins and I had a sister. And the parents waking these children up early, and teaching them how to cook,
right.
teaching them how to to wash, how to cook, how to
Right.
clean, teaching them about keeping a home, turning a house into a home.
In
keeping them-
2020 though, just sorry to cut you, but in 2020, how many women you think, even women who are interested in being married, you think they esteem these traditional female gender roles highly?
I think there's a large percentage of women out there
Right.
who are knowledgeable
Right.
and who practice
Right.
these simple things.
Right.
Even today in 2020.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of women are career oriented.
Right.
But there is something significant about just being able to be an excellent mother, excellent caretaker,
Right.
excellent spouse, you know.
And all of those
in the
things may
home.
necessarily be in line with cooking, cleaning. It might be
Yeah, it might
making
be
your bed
other items,
or
yeah,
just
in general.
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
understand? Sometimes I come home
Okay.
and I did not leave the house so clean. You know,
Right.
and I'm not just trying to focus in on cleaning and saying
Yeah.
a woman's role in the house is
Yeah.
to cook, wash, and clean. And I'm
Right,
not saying that
right.
because a lot of the times I do a lot of cleaning in the house as well. You know,
Right.
so but I just saying it's like when I walk in, I feel the separation from when I was at somebody else's house or
Right.
when I was at work. Or I just feel like I now walk into a home.
Yeah.
You understand?
Ah.
And my wife makes that place feel like that for me.
Right, you hear that? Maria, you hear that? Can't be able to. Right, okay.
You understand? Just
Noted.
little things that she would do.
So you're taking notes.
You understand?
Right, yeah,
I might
okay.
be able to pinpoint every little fine-tuned detail, but it's just the things that she does
Right.
that will now cause me to walk in and say,
Yeah.
I'm in my place of peace.
Yeah.
You understand? Thanks, babe. Yeah. Whatever you did, you understand?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you have 2 children.
Yeah.
2 children. And you have a baby.
I have a
Boy. Yes?
Yeah, boy and a girl.
Yeah. So you scoop out your Instagram. I don't really scoop out Instagram. Just I see his Instagram when I'm on Instagram. Yeah. So how does children change the dynamic of your relationship?
Well, children, children are a whole different kettle of fish. You know?
Right.
Children puts you in a space where for a baby, every 2 hours that child has to get fed. Nobody told me this thing before I had a baby, right? That you have to feed a baby every 2 hours. So I'm literally, me and my wife working out a schedule for how we're gonna feed the baby. If
Right.
she's sleeping, I don't want to wake her. I
Right.
gotta make sure. And if she is doing breastfeeding,
Right.
you know, then sometimes she uses a pump to get the milk out into the bottle. It's just a whole new phase of life.
Right.
You understand? And even though it's tiring because sometimes you keep repeating yourself for as much as 5-6 times a day,
Right.
a child will still go and do something. What having children has done for me, it has allowed me to understand the love that God has for me a bit more. Because my child he could pull down everything in the house, and at the end of it all,
Yeah.
I will still stretch my hands and say, hey,
I was
come on.
actually having a conversation very similar to that. So one of my friends, she recently made a baby and she was telling me that it's such an emotional experience. She said if it wasn't emotional before, you're emotional now because it's like you just want the world to be a better place. You don't want nothing to happen to the child. You want everything just go well. And when she told me, I was like, that's probably God. That's God. That's definitely God. Like, he wants every good thing to go our way. And the world to be better so that we can just be fruitful and, alive.
Children teach me so much. It teach me a lot even about forgiveness, to see that we have to forgive our children every minute of the day for some of the nonsense that they're doing. And then I walk in, I'll finish just bathe Mateo and, while I just change and put on his clothes, then I walk inside to come back and he just found a marker. And his entire face is covered in markers, his clothes on the walls, everything. If you walk into the house now, there's a room that I just allow them to do whatever in there. And that room is just filled with, my wife calls it artwork.
Right.
But it's just messed
Scribbles.
all over, you understand? And we try to keep it there, but children just have a way. They go in the cupboard, they take out items, they take out the rice, there's rice all over, flour all over.
Curious.
They hear somebody fell, you walk outside, it's because they're covered in flour, they're looking white. It's just so much different things, and you just constantly just have to forgive and it's like, no matter if you tell them, don't do that, don't put this in, they'll still do it all the time. You understand? Until some reasoning happens within their own.
They realize that, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, let me stop.
Yeah.
But until that time comes, and it's just like, this is like our relationship with God. For a lot of our lives, we are compared to babes and sucklings, and the word tells us that we have to mature from milk to meat and that kind of thing. So it allows me to see that no matter what, the father or the mother has the best interest of the child at heart. A good father, right? So I could be sitting here right now and I know exactly whose care my children are in.
Right.
You understand? Because I could account for them 24 hours a day.
Right.
You understand? Especially much so when they are small and they are younger. So they are always on my mind. No matter what I'm doing, I am driving, I'm going to South, I'm going to Tobago, I'm flying out to Spain, I'm going to the UK. I could tell at this present moment, I believe this is what's happening with my children. I know that they are safe, I know that they are secure.
Right.
So I am putting things in place even in my absence.
Right.
So it allows me to understand that is how much God has me on his mind. You understand? He just has me there 24/7. I can't even count the hairs on my child's head. But the word says that the Lord does that for me. So even as much as I am a caretaker to my parents, imagine how much more God is to me. So it kind of put my relationship with God into a different perspective. Because before I would have only been seeing him as Lord and as God, as my provider, El Gibor, suffering, a master, everything. And now I see him as a father, and it changes the way I relate, changes the way I prayed. It's just so much thing. Children just brought out a different side of me.
In terms of your marriage, too, I'm gonna wrap it up. But this is the last question, except for the other last question. In terms of your marriage, your relationship, having children, what is that like on the dynamics of? Because I know that's probably, with all the changes you described, it's only obvious that there's a change in the dynamics of your marriage and your relationship once children children. Did I say children just now? Once children become involved. So what is that like?
Okay, so
relationship wise.
Okay, so relationship wise, now you have to schedule out date time to make sure that you spend enough time together to going out, because. And then when you're going out, sometimes your mind's still thinking about, okay, I wonder what they're doing. I hope they're behaving themselves, these children. And it's like, you just have to try to find the time.
Right.
Find the time. There's 24 hours in a day. And the truth is, we give attention to the things that we find important. Yeah. No matter what. Nobody is too busy doing anything that they don't find the time to see about what concerns them, what's important to them.
Yeah, that's
so, for you all the young ladies out there, if a man say you know the time to devote to you, he's lying. That's the truth. I just say.
I find you're attacking me.
I ain't attacking you.
I ain't attacking you. I feel attacked, guys. Okay, I'm starting saying no.
It's just important. Yeah,
it's true.
Just people make time. People make time. And the guys with the word says too, you understand? We have treasures hidden here and we make time for it. So I think that people just need to set aside time devoted to their family. I mean, I remember sometime me and my wife, we were sleeping in bed, and then by the time I woke up, I just reached out on her. I felt a little face in the middle. Like, what are you doing here? Go in your room. You understand? Yeah. So the children, I don't know. If me and my wife are lying in our bedroom, the children just somehow just manage to appear and just be in the midst and they don't want to leave. I say, okay, Annalise, watch this. Let's go outside. So we slowly move outside, and within a minute or two,
they follow.
They just up walking outside, watching iPad, whatever it is, and they just.
It's want to be near.
Yeah, if we standing on the tile, they just come sit on the tile, lie down on the tile, and just there in the midst. It's just like they are just so obsessed with wanting to be in our presence. Yeah. You understand? And
so the point for you all is to make sure and
scheduling that time, you understand? Because
make sure they have care elsewhere by grandparents or godparents or whatever, and have that quality time set aside.
And I mean, it was challenging because my wife, she wants to be there for her children, and she is
Yeah.
not convinced that
She can leave
any
them,
person could just do
it
a
like she
better
can do
job.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true.
You understand?
That's probably true.
And so it really is going through with a fine-teeth comb, with who
Right.
you can trust to watch your children.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Oh, I feel tired already. Are you married? I am married. I don't have any children. I'm tired. I feel like, oh my lord, I could go and take a rest just from this conversation. That's a lot.
But it's enjoyable.
It's enjoyable and rewarding, I will assume.
Yes.
And I mean, they will grow up and they will remember. Hopefully. Hopefully they would remember. Because some children don't remember, but hopefully that's not your children. They would remember. And yeah, that's a lot, guys. That's a lot. There's a lot. Even I'm still processing a lot of what you said, because I feel like a lot of times people would like to be married, and we like the idea of marriage. We like the look of marriage on social media. We love the family pictures. We love the family vacations. But the work, the real, that what we see on social media, and the things that we see is probably 2, 5, 10% of what it is. And the 90% is what makes the 10% something that we as onlookers, find attractive. So the 90%.
I think in this age too, I think that social media allows people to put up something that seems ideal, but it isn't.
Right.
So you might look at a married couple on social media and they're looking so happy and all that, but they just know how to put on a show for the camera.
Yeah.
You understand? And 2 months later, you just see they divorced.
Yeah.
Everybody just left, right, and center, just leaving each
Yeah,
other.
you
Just
feel
like,
hurt,
you feel
so
like
you-
see me, see that, I'm not dealing with he and that, and I'm not dealing with she and that, and then nobody knows how to hold on, to fight for
Forgive
something,
and
to forgive, to come together, to reason, the words just come, let us reason together. Nobody knows how to do that anymore. You understand?
And nobody wants to do that. They don't feel like they have to do that. Why I have to explain myself to you? You should just understand. Especially women. Just spend out there. I'm not bashing women, but it's true. We expect them to read our minds, and it's not possible, guys. It's not possible. They can't. So as he said before, communication is vital, integral, imperative. All of those words are synonyms, but that's how important it is.
Yeah, and communication is important.
Yeah.
Trust, loyalty, forgiveness, honesty, you understand? Integrity, all these things make for an excellent marriage.
Right.
And if it is that we try to cut the corners, sometime later down the road,
It's catch up.
it's catch up to you, So I think that just do your
I
best
guess
to
patience
be honest,
should be
be
there.
open about yourself, about insecurities, you understand? And don't let things that you might feel might rub somebody the wrong way, don't let it hinder you from opening up yourself, Let's use wisdom. I mean, you ask what girls or women should do, just fix them first, You don't want to be looking for Mr. Right and you are Mrs. Wrong. You know, make sure that there's a complete balance. You do everything that contains. The word says he that finds a wife. So it means that the man is finding a wife. And he didn't say he that finds a girlfriend. Which means you become a wife even before you're married. In a sense, he that finds a wife, though, don't be crabby, acting like a girlfriend acts. But then a wife acts in a different way. You become the wife and then you are found.
Right.
And then
that's deep.
You understand? So
I think it now register. Oh, that's deep. Yeah. So you emulate the characteristics and you don't. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
it's like the bat signal. Pay it out and then they can see that.
Yeah. So it's like you're going to.
Understood.
It's like you have a major show to do. Say we travel and we go and do a set in a different country.
Right.
There will be a time where there is a rehearsal.
Right.
You understand? So we become,
You're right.
and then do.
Right.
That's what Christianity is all about. You understand? It talks about say what you want,
Right.
A man you understand? A man in his heart. He is who is in his heart. What he says.
Yeah.
That's who he is. So it's a different. It's not the do and then become. It's like become and then do. That is kind of what Christianity teaches you. So you say, I am blessed. And then blessed. You become. You understand? So it's like.
And the word speaks about, when you pray and stuff, the things they ask God for, and they believe it comes to pass and so on. But if you don't know what you're praying for, you don't know who you want to be, you don't have that vision where you want to go, how do you approach God? Not necessarily how do you approach God, but it's only, let me not say it's only so much, I would say it's only so much God can do for you, but God can do anything for you guys. Right. But it's good to know, to have an idea, and like His word, of course, for your life, and go to Him and, share it with Him, and He helps, and He pulls through, and He shows up, and establishes the plans of...
My father always tells me, he says, Joel, I want you to take this with you for the rest of your life. He says, without God, man cannot, and without man, God will not, which means God wants to use an available vessel.
Right.
And not that He can't do it, but He won't do it without us. You understand? So it's important for us to just kind of
keep that on minister to somebody.
So like the word says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Right.
So you become first,
right,
and then you practice to do it. So you become the wife, right?
Yeah.
And then you wait to be found.
Yeah.
And then you just do.
Okay. I'll cancel the other plans I had, guys. Thank you so much for being here. The other question I was going to ask you is hang on to with the conversation, but I feel like you have an accent.
Accent?
You don't feel like you have an accent? You're from South?
I'm from Tobago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Okay.
You don't sound like a Tobagonian, though.
How I don't sound like a Tobagonian?
No, it has rough. It's smoother than the...
Now, you see, what happens is that when you travel a lot and you interact with people, that phrase, say that again, say that again, say that again. So it's like you have to now be able to communicate that people can understand. Because, I mean, when you want to send a message to somebody, you want them to be able to understand. And that's what communication is too.
As an international, I would call it athlete, yes, as an international artist. Take it from the words, the mouth of positive. Thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you for the tips. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. My name is Maria Peters. This is Perspective the Podcast, and that's all until next week. Jerusalem,